What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? 10 out of 10. That was great. It really hurt though. Anyway, today we have the Sig Sauer P320 X-5 Legion, not Legion, X-5, but the DH3 version. We are going to compare it a lot to my Legion because they are very similar guns. But for the most part, it's just going to be a quick review on the DH3. So I've seen this gun at my local FFL for about a year. They've had one in the rental bay, and it's a very interesting gun. It shoots extremely well. It has a couple unique features, but no one ever really talks about it. I never see it anywhere, which is a shame because, again, it has a couple unique features and it shoots extremely well. And because the Elite Indoor Gun Range is such a great supporter of this channel, they hooked me up with one, and we get to shoot it and enjoy it. If you are local, they have a beautiful gun tree club, sporting clays course, training courses. They have one of these in the rental bay if you want to go shoot it. And they said this gun gets rented constantly and has thousands of rounds on it, and it's holding up pretty well. So that is always good to hear. Anyway, the DH3. The DH3 stands for Daniel Horner. Daniel Horner is a competition shooter. He's one of the Sig competition shooters. I challenged him to a competition recently on social media, and he was too afraid to accept. He didn't want nothing to do with my shooting skills. Anyway, let's get into the gun and the magazines and stop with this nonsense. So it comes with 321 round magazines if you live in a free-ish state. If not, you're stuck with 321 rounds. Sig mags are good quality. They're metal mags. They're made in Italy. I've always assumed they're made by Mekar because they're made in Italy, which is a good thing. And this one has a tan base pad to match this nice tan gun. And that's the first difference between the Legion and the DH3 is the color. The DH3 is obviously tan. The Legion is gray. Magwells on the bottom appear to be the same. They both have a great magwell to help flare and get those magazines in there. It's a very aggressive flare, which is exactly what you want from a bigger competition gun. Most people are not going to be EDCing, carrying this gun every day. It's really just a competition or a range type gun, and that very huge magwell will help with those magazine exchanges a little bit. The grip is probably one of the most unique things about the gun and probably one of the best. So both of these guns are a titanium infused polymer, and they're very, very heavy. So again, range competition. When you shoot these guns, because of that extra weight in the grip, they shoot very flat. And if you have the skills, you can shoot them very quickly as well. The thing that's different on the DH3 is going to be the texture. It has a silicone carbide texture that's built into the grip. What Sig did was they actually cut away the grip and inlaid the silicone carbide, because if they just threw that material on top, it would be more likely to wear away and chip and have problems. So they inlaid it so it sits flush and it feels really good, and the texture is just a little more aggressive than the X-5 Legion. So when it comes to the grip texture, I definitely prefer the DH3 over the X-5 Legion. Magazine releases are going to be the same. I find them easy to release the magazine, and the magazine drops freely, so no issues or no problems there. Before we get into the trigger, because the trigger is very good, I'm going to say, I want to quickly thank Natchez. Now, they don't have these pew-pews, but they do have everything you need for these pew-pews. So an optic, a light, magazines, the pew-pews themselves, reloading, hunting, fishing, camping, all that good stuff. They're always having lots of good deals as well, and they are the biggest supporter of the Tiberious Keeper channel, so thank you to Natchez. I also want to mention Infinite Defense to you guys. They make these reusable rubber targets. They have a bunch of different sizes and types, but you can literally shoot these targets thousands of times with pistol, rifle. If you shoot it with like a big slug, you're going to put a hole in it, but birdshot's fine. And the advantages of these rubber targets compared to cardboard is obviously you can use it over and over and over and over, and you can see if the target's freshly painted, you can see exactly where your hits are going, and you can shoot it very close. You know, steel's fun. We all love the ping, ping, ping of steel, but you can't safely shoot it close. With these, if you want to get some practice in shooting close up, you can do so. So the discount code for Infinite Defense is up here on the screen. If you want to get anything from them, use that code, save you a few bucks, make me a few bucks, and everyone's happy. Now let's talk about the trigger. The trigger is the same on both of these guns. You have, a little bit of take up to a very good wall. The wall's stout, the wall's great, I like it. The reset is a hair on the long side for a competition gun. Now, it's not bad. It's not stopping me from getting hits or doing anything that I'm capable of doing with any other gun. But with the competition gun, I wish that reset was a little bit shorter. It is very tactile, which is good. That would ruin the trigger. So I'm going to say, overall, the trigger is very good. The only thing keeping it from being great is the reset. The reset's average. Everything else is very good. Anyway, take a 5-second break. You can get up close and personal with the trigger, and I'll be right back. Alright, the rail on both of these guns is a standard 1913 rail with a bunch of cutouts. I think you're going to be able to put any light laser or doohickey you want on this gun, no problem there. Slide release is the same on both of them, and they are ambi, so lefties and righties, you're good. If you choose to use it as a release like I do, it sticks out enough where it's very easy to drop that slide that way, if that's how you choose to run the slide. Now, another thing that's different between the DH3 is it has on the front some slide cuts that you can use as serrations. It works to help you rack the slide, where the X-5 Legion just has some lightning cuts up on the top to make it lighter, but nothing that really helps you rack the slide. So with the slide cuts on the DH3, it just makes it a little bit easier to rack the slide. It does have some serrations lower on the slide, and the rear has some pretty average serrations on the back of the slide. Another thing that's different is going to be the sights. The X-5 Legion comes with fiber optic sights, which is what I would expect from a competition gun. I was kind of surprised the DH3 had night-day sights, being I can't imagine anyone's going to be carrying this and shooting it at night. Do they do a lot of competitions at night? I don't know. Either way, the Sig X-ray day-night sights are very nice. They're not plastic. The rear sight has a good ledge. You have 3-dot tritium for night shooting. The front has a very bright green circle around it. So the sights are nice, and they're dovetailed in, and you can back them out if you don't like them. I just would assume it'd be a fiber optic sight. And they are high enough to run to coat witness with an optic as well. They're not the standard height sights. They are a little bit higher. Speaking of optics, this has a pretty cool footprint. It has the Sig Pro footprint, so you can put Delta Point Pro footprint optics on here, RMRs, including the Sig ones as well, and they'll all go right down to the slide. You don't need any accessory plates. So pretty cool that it has such a wide variety of optics that go right down to the slide. Taking this gun apart for cleaning purposes, I'll show you. Obviously, you want to make sure the gun's unloaded. Slide the takedown lever, and then the slide comes right off. And the first thing you should notice is this gun is absolutely filthy. Like I said, it has thousands of rounds on it from the Elite Indoor Gun Range and a few hundred more from me. The unique part about the guide rod, let me get it off. Come on, there you go. The guide rod in the spring is it's not captured. The reason they do that is they want you to be able to customize the weight of the spring to run with the ammo you're running. A lot of competition guns do this, so you can dial in your ammo and your spring to make sure there's as little recoil as possible, but still make sure the gun runs reliably. The guide rod itself is a metal guide rod, get some good weight to it. And quick funny story, the reason my X-5 Legion is disassembled right now, I was at the range and I was swapping slides and grips just to test them together for some reason. And dropped my slide on the ground. The guide rod and spring popped out, and the spring shot the guide rod across the range. I mean, boom! I have no idea where it went. So if anybody's at Bradford in Rhode Island, let me know if you find my guide rod, because it's somewhere on one of the 16 ranges we have there, and I can't find it. I just ordered a new one, so I'll have a new one here soon enough. Anyway, the barrel, besides being gross and I don't want to touch it, is a 5-inch barrel. It's a pretty thick bull barrel. All Sig barrels are made from carbon steel, so it's a good material. It's probably more accurate than you, definitely more accurate than me, and it's going to last longer than you and me also. And now look at my hands, how dirty and gross, because this gun is filthy. The other thing I want to talk about with Sig is the FCU, the Fire Control Unit. The P320 and the 365 family of guns, this is probably the best feature, and I'm sure most of you know this by now, but in case somebody's new here, let me explain it. You pull out the takedown lever. When you do that, the serialized firearm, the frame inside the gun, lifts out, and it makes it very, very modular. What you could do with a gun like this is you could literally have take this FCU out, put it in a lighter frame to carry, show up for a competition, take it out of the standard frame, put it in this, and now you have a much heavier duty frame. Or You like my PJ pants? This frame is from Strike Industries. Same thing. You take that FCU out, you can drop it in this. I've done a review on this already, and now it changes, and you put your slide from the Sig on here as well, and now it changes your P320 into like a PDW type thing where you can get hits out a lot more accurate and so much more of a self-defense type tool. But those are just two examples of the modularity and probably one of the coolest things again with the 320 and 365. Anyway, weights up here on the screen. The dimensions and the weight of both of these guns are just about the same. The DH3 is more like $300 more than the X-5 Legion, so it does cost a little bit more. Of course, there's links down you know where, so hopefully I could find you a good deal. All right, let's chat about the testing that I've done. Over the past weekend, 2 range trips with the DH3. The X-5 Legion's been my main competition range gun for years, and that has thousands of rounds. But with the DH3, probably around 200 rounds. And most of the shooting was competition type shooting because it's a competition type gun. Hitting a lot of steel, doing transitions, shooting faster than my skills allow, and definitely plinging a lot of steel. We did a little bit of running around with it. I did a little bit of self-defense type shooting because I had those infinite defense targets at the range. And the other thing I did that was really fun is I took the slide off my X-5 Legion and put it on the DH3. And I did that because I prefer the grip and the grip texture of the DH3. But my X-5 Legion has an optic, and I always prefer optics. And it also has a gas pedal for a takedown lever. So I put the gas pedal takedown lever and the optic on here, and I made a little Frankenstein of the two guns together, and that was sensational. I shot faster with that setup than pretty much any other gun that I can think of. I have so many rounds through my X-5 Legion, and I'm so comfortable and used to shooting it, is I really was shooting it fast for me and my skills. I was so confident that I challenged Daniel Horner to a competition, and he was so afraid of me and my skills, he didn't accept. He probably never saw it. But anyway, he would smoke me. He would absolutely destroy me. I know that. Let's talk about the pros and the cons before you get out of here, and I'll stop getting distracted. Biggest pro for me is going to be the grip texture. I really like the silicone carbide grip. It's a little bit more aggressive than the X-5 Legion. Not crazy, but a little more aggressive, and I definitely enjoy that. The trigger is good, very good on here. The sights, I was surprised that they weren't fiber optic, but Sig X-ray sights are great. Between the green and the tritium and the metal sights and the higher, awesome set of sights on there. The optics cut is very good, that you don't need an accessory. The grip weight, I really like the extra weight in the grip on both of these guns, and that's part of the reason I shoot them so well. And let me one more time mention that removable FCU. It makes the gun so modular and so many different things you can do with them. That's one of the biggest advantages. As far as things I would change, I would get this DH3 logo and I would erase it and put the TIB logo on here. Don't you guys think I need a Tiberious model gun? I said I wasn't going to get distracted, and I did. I wish this gun was available in black or gray. Like, the FDE is fine. I don't mind the FDE, especially for a competition gun, but I always prefer black and gray guns, and I'm vain, so that's probably the only thing I would change. Overall, you're going to need to decide which one you want and which one you want to go with. And do you think the DH3 is worth the extra $300? For me, if I was going to pick one, I would, if you have the funds, I would go with the extra $300 for the DH3. Not losing the rare sight when you add an optic is huge. The better slide cuts I like. The grip texture, as I mentioned, is much better. And I think all of those factors, I don't really care about the sights all that much. All of those factors for me, I think it is worth the extra $300. But that is for you to decide. Either one, though, getting a gun around, a competition gun around $1,000 to $1,300 that shoots this nice, that has that extra weight, it's tough to beat. I can't think of another gun in that price range that I would pick over these if you want something for range and competition. That's why I have so many rounds for that X-5 Legion still. It's a great gun. All right, that's all I got for you today. Let me thank the Elite Indoor Gun Range. They have been a long time sponsor of this channel. Like, when I had 2 subscribers, they were already supporting me. I'm going to thank Sig. They had nothing to do with this video, but they've also been a good supporter of the channel, so I want to thank them and give them some love. Natchez, the biggest supporter of the Tiberious Gibb channel. There'd be no Tiberious Gibb channel to this level. If it wasn't for them, I'd probably still have 2 subscribers. Who else? Infinite Defense for supporting me. Greatly appreciate that. That link to Infinite Defense is on the screen. Now that I'm done shilling though, I need to thank you boys and girls. Most important, everybody who watches these videos, drops a like, hits the comment button, hits a subscribe definitely. The subscriptions are the big one. That really helps. I truly appreciate it. Be good. Stay blessed. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully. Peace!